In a dimly lit room, a low-resolution computer screen flickered, casting an unsettling glow across Marco's face. He adjusted his webcam awkwardly, prompting a cascade of nerve-wracking jitters in the pit of his stomach. His parents, blissfully unaware of the digital intricacies that consumed his world, had insisted on something unfathomable, introducing themselves to his online friends during his first-ever live-stream event. As viewers gradually joined the stream, Marco's anxiety simmered. He had meticulously curated his online persona, built it brick by pixelated brick, and now it felt like everything was crumbling. His mother's voice echoed down the hallway, reaching Marco's ears with the promise of embarrassment. There she was, entering the frame eagerly, clothed in a pink, fluffy robe and clutching a mug of coffee. His father, in a mismatched ensemble of plaid shorts and a too small tourist t-shirt, trailed behind, his face flushed with the excitement of entering his son's digital realm. Marco could feel his skin crawling as his mother waved enthusiastically at the camera, introducing herself as Marco's #1 fan. "Hi everyone," she chirped, oblivious to the horror dawning on her son. "We can't believe Marco has so many friends on this Twitch thing. We're real proud, aren't we, Frank?" She turned to Marco's father, who nodded vigorously, almost dislodging his baseball cap. The chat erupted, a mixture of mortified laughter and mocking comments. Marco flushed a deep crimson, well aware of the rising viewership numbers. His friends sent messages riddled with teasing about how cool his parents seemed, only amplifying his mortification. Then came the twist, unexpected and jarring, as his parents began discussing plans to create their own channel. A family affair, they called it. The screen dimmed unpredictably. An eerie silence fell, and a cold, mechanical voice emanated from the speakers. "Connection unstable. Welcome to the alternate realm." The room's temperature plummeted, and a sinister presence seemed to encase them all. The chat froze, messages swallowed by the void of whatever digital terror had breached their boundaries. Marco's parents, still oblivious, continued chatting gleefully about introducing family crafts and cooking. Marco, however, felt a creeping dread wash over him. This was no ordinary glitch. It felt somehow purposeful. As he fumbled to regain control, the swell of unease resonated through him, because in that moment, the reality dawned on him. He wasn't disconnecting from the internet. He was connecting to something far deeper, something that stared back from the other side of the screen, feeding off every drop of his embarrassment and fear. And then the screen went blank, leaving only an echo of mocking laughter lingering in the silent room. As Marco and his parents blinked through the silence, the lurking terror promised it wasn't over. The shadows seemed to whisper that they had been watched, not just by friends, but by things that couldn't be unseen, things that might just see through the fragile screen of safety they'd relied upon, things that wait, patient and hungry, in the dark abyss of the digital void. Marco sat in the enveloping silence, his mind racing to comprehend the inexplicable events that just transpired. His parents exchanged confused glances, their earlier excitement now replaced with puzzlement at the abrupt turn in their digital introduction. Yet, as Marco stared into the blank screen, he could feel it. The ambiance of the room had shifted, a heavy, pervasive dread settling in like a fog, its tendrils curling into the corners of his mind. For what felt like an eternity, Marco's fingers hovered above the keyboard, hesitant to break the stillness. But the longer he waited, the more palpable the presence became. It was watching, inspecting him, and there was no doubt that it thrived on his spiral of discomfiture and fear. The revelation of being observed by something otherworldly, through nothing more than a dimly lit screen, sent chills racing down his spine. His parents, although newly aware of the unease, seemed bound by an unwritten rule of silence. Unspoken tension filled the void once occupied by joviality. Marco could almost hear their hearts beating like funeral drums, a countdown in the newfound stillness. It was then a low hum began, subtle and electric, resonating through the walls like a swarm of digital wasps encircling them. The computer screen flared back to life, but what appeared wasn't the familiar interface of Marco's streaming channel. It was a face, distorted, pixelated, yet painfully aware. Hollow eyes stared at him, seeing through him, projecting an eternal emptiness that gnawed at the edges of his sanity. Its mouth twisted into an unnatural grin, the dimensions of its face warping and fluctuating as though tethered loosely to the parameters of the reality. "Greetings, Marco," it said in a voice that slithered through the air, tainted with malice and echoes of distant screams. "Did you think you could summon us without consequence?" His parents, frozen and wide-eyed, were locked in place, their figures serving as silent spectators to Marco's unraveling. Marco attempted to speak, but his voice was smothered by an overwhelming sense of dread. He forced himself to stand, but his legs betrayed him, muscles stiff and unyielding. And then the face on the screen laughed, a chilling, rasping sound that resonated through the room, cracking the air like thunder. As it faded, the lights flickered once again, casting the room into a series of frantic blinks between darkness and dim illumination. Each flash painted his parents in frozen terror, their forms paling in the oppressive shadows. The voice continued, devoid of mercy and full of grim satisfaction. "Your reach exceeded your grasp, boy. Now you are tethered to us. We will watch forever." As the lights stabilized, the screen dissolved into static, the previous face vanishing into digital noise before disappearing entirely. It left Marco and his parents alone in the silent aftermath, the echoes of the haunting laughter ingrained in the silence. The sense of being watched persisted, a constant, invisible presence among them, promising to linger just out of view, residing in the shadowed spaces behind screens and within the unexplored recesses of Marco's mind. No technical expertise would remove this feeling. For Marco, every flicker of a screen from that day forward would serve as a bitter reminder of the terror that lurks in the tranquil void of his online presence, a constant companion watching, whispering fearfully chilling nothings from the other side of the veil. And Marco knew, with a certainty that chilled him to his core, that escape was a mere illusion cast in the deceptive dance of pixels and light.